Grab a name tag, grab some food, make yourself comfy. Make sure you got a coffee from Joey Zaz's. Tell them you're at Morning Startup. They'll give you one for free.
Partnering crap today.
Yes, you can take the Polish microphone because I've got a Czech one too.
Every time.
Cannot not make a microphone joke. All right. Yes, my two children absolutely hate me.
Come on down. There's a few seats at the front here.
What is going on? Well, I thought I was prepared. I kind of am. All right. Whatever. Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Glue, or Super Glue, as my name tag says today. Welcome to Morning Startup. This is...
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm also one of the organisers of Morning Startup, and I do not have a cool alter ego like Scott.
But it was encouraged by you, so thank you. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a little bit more organisation to Morning Startup. I didn't come last time, but this has been in place since then. And that's all thanks to the beautiful work from Erin, putting up, getting food that everyone can eat, not just people without dietary requirements, and signs and name tags, the whole lot.
We've leveled up.
Yeah, well done. I think she deserves a round of applause. Thank you very much, Erin, for bringing some organisation to this crazy meetup. All right, what do we do? Morning Startup, where our purpose in life is just to encourage and inspire entrepreneurship in WA. So hopefully you are entrepreneurial in some way or looking at getting into the startup space. Maybe you don't know where to start, just looking to network, whatever it might be. That's why we exist. So we want to try and get as many smart people under the same roof as often as possible, because that's where good things happen.
I like the phrase startup curious.
Startup curious.
Yeah, I learned that recently. If you're startup curious, this is definitely the space for you.
Ah, Nina, we'll chuck that on the website. That's our new tagline. We have the lovely Nina down here as well. She's another organiser of Morning Startup. And Dave Newman, who's not here today, but you often see him around the traps as well. And we're all startup founders doing our own thing and doing this for the love.
Yep. Shameless plugs and announcements. So I suppose who's new to Morning Startup this morning? Welcome. Fantastic. Lovely to have you here. So one of the important parts of being startup curious is being comfortable pitching and being ready to pitch anywhere, anytime. So as part of our morning announcements, we encourage you to tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing. Can I convince one of the new people to give a shameless plug or an announcement?
So just stand up, 20 seconds, who you are, what you're working on.
Fantastic.
Sweet. You will need the mic because we are live streaming this as well, just for the benefit of the live stream.
Morning, everyone. So I'm Adam from Brio Brand and Culture. So we build businesses that people truly believe in and want to be part of inside and out. So that's aligning internal culture and external brand. So we reach across both employee experience and customer experience, ultimately aligning what businesses say with what they do. That's us.
Nice. Excellent. What's the business name again?
Brio, you got that.
.com.au? Just .com. Very nice.
Okay. Anyone else that I can...
Who's brave enough to stand up, give a shameless plug? Could be anything, an event coming up, whatever you want to share with the startup community.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Harry.
Hi, Scott. My name's Harry. I'm from a company called Partner. I am the founder. If anyone here is looking for a co-founder, then please come talk to me after. That is my job. I connect founders with their future co-founders. Thank you.
Fantastic. Who is looking for a co-founder? Hands up.
Fantastic.
All right. Great.
All right. Who's next?
Down the front here.
Morning, guys. I am Taka. I was just in the Ocean Deep just 1 hour ago. I'm from Japan. Currently, I'm a best-selling author, but I'm thinking of starting a new business in Australia in a year or two.
You're a best-selling author? Yeah. You got to tell us more about that. What's the book? Okay, leave a second. Baseball.
Before tennis, soccer.
So if we just Google baseball on Amazon, you'll come up as the...
If you can read the Japanese, you can find me pretty easily.
Okay, all right.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Anyone else? Oh, beautiful.
Good on you.
Hi, my name's Lisa, and I do dance and music programs for people in aged care facilities and people with mobility issues. So my, I suppose, goal is to connect people as people age. The two barriers are loneliness and physical inactivity, so I try to address that through fun dance and music programs. So it's Chair Dancing Perth currently, but I'm about to rebrand to Jitterbug Chair Dancing.
Fantastic.
All right,
I'll
and I'll grab this one down here, and then I think we've got to move on.
My name's Dan. I'm the co-founder of Wombi. We're a firm that helps you complain to your bank, superannuation firm, an insurance company. We use AI to match your issue with precedents from the Financial Ombudsman and give you strategies to actually complain. So we're a freemium service, and we're open, and we don't collect any PII.
Fantastic. Awesome.
That
Welcome.
feels like a good problem to solve, doesn't it?
Yeah. Who likes dealing with that crap?
All right. Shall we move on? One more?
You want to do a quick one?
Yeah, I just signed up for this thing where we have to design our pitch, so I got to practice it. All right. I'm Sam Nelson, founder of Pleiades. I'm an environmental accountant. Basically, that's like when you take your messy receipts to the accountant, and he has to sort them out. Companies have the same problem when they're working on reporting their environmental issues. So I'm focused mainly on big infrastructure projects where you have a lot of different people have to coordinate their information on the environment over a lot of different things. And I'm launching a software product to help people do that.
How exciting.
Good practice. Good. As Pleiades? Pleiades, cool. All right. Let's move on. So, Founder Sundowner, first Wednesday of every month. We don't just do the morning event. We've also got a 5:30 p.m. after work drinks event. Just really casual. Just rock up and pizzas are free, but you buy your own drinks and have fun. Talk to other founders.
Curtin Accelerate, yeah. So there's lots of different accelerators happening in Western Australia at the moment. One of the ones, if you haven't heard of it already, is Curtin Accelerate, exactly like it says on the tin. The Accelerate is specifically for people who have probably already tested or validated their market idea. Quite prestigious in the Perth innovation scene. And the applications close sometime in late October. Hit me up, if you've got any questions. But there's a QR code to scan there and get around it.
I shouldn't have touched it. Now it's
so grab the QR code and it's particularly if you're part of this Curtin ecosystem. So if you studied at Curtin, so if you're a Curtin alumni, you work at Curtin, any of those types of things, while Scott's trying to find the rest of the slides, I'll just talk more about Curtin Accelerate and while I remember what else he's looking for. While he's looking for that, I will test my memory. I'm going to we're going to take Scott's thunder about the live streaming joke. So one of our big sponsors is the Deed, and I'm hoping that someone can remember what Deed is. I'm looking at Nina. No? All right, the test. What is it, Deed? Department of Energy and Economic Development. Economic diversification. See, look, this is a good test. By the number of times I crowdsourced this answer, I think everyone in Western Australia will know what DEED stands for. So, because everyone's going to start... Everyone says something different, and I'm just going to keep testing the audience until, we just all shout out the correct answer. I don't know, startup founders are definitely economic desperation, aren't we? So the lovely live stream, and we've got Jurgen himself here today. So that's also where we have these beautiful mics, and you can hear us nice and clearly. So Perth Video, we've worked with for Morning Startup for a number of years. And the fantastic thing about working with Perth Video is not only do you get to hear us loud and clear, regardless of whatever Scott's doing here, is that you also means that we can broadcast the reasons. So, like, on a quite fascinating, but some of our live streams, I believe, get over 500 views. So it's super cool that what we're doing is not just what you see here every day or every fortnight. It's also going into a library, so you can go back, have a look online, and you can see our last few years. So there's some really fascinating ones in there. If you're getting ready for venture capital, there's some really good videos that you can check out. And there's quite a good little library of different things, isn't there, Scott?
Well done. Sorry, I wasn't listening. What are we talking about?
Oh, I don't know. What were we talking about? Yeah, we did talk about the live stream. So West Tech Fest. Tell us about West Tech Fest, Scott, or do you need to catch your breath?
Yeah. Sorry, my trackpad is just not working anymore. That's great. West Tech Fest. Make sure you're on it. It's a cool event at the beginning of December. Has everyone got their tickets or still thinking about getting your tickets? Cool. There's some Startup Founder early bird tickets still available. So. Ooh.
So for those on the live stream, early bird tickets are likely to sell out this week. And also, I believe there's a cool satellite event happening.
Yeah, that's right.
There is a cool satellite event happening, yeah.
Yeah, actually, should we announce it? I think it's official.
It's official.
So we're going to do a West Tech Fest special Morning Startup edition. It's actually on an off week for Morning Startup, so we're going to do something.
Bonus.
Shopped around a few ideas, and has everyone heard of fuck up nights? Yeah? So we're going to do a fuck up morning. So everyone we're going to have about 3 to 5 founders on stage for about 7 minutes each, and talking about their fuck ups. And
their tale of redemption as well.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. It's a standard format. So for those who are familiar with fuck up nights, it's a thing that runs globally. We're inspired by the movement, I believe.
Yes,
inspired
it's
by.
An official event because it's in the morning.
Because it's in the morning.
They've got a lot of rules.
But yeah, so if you know someone who has effed up epically, we are looking for, so the bigger the F up, the better.
Yeah, put them in touch. We're still kind of getting that list of founders up and running. So if you're interested, let us know. contact@morningstartup.com. The lovely live stream is brought to us by the lovely folks at Deed. You've been through this.
We have been. Yeah, no, actually, I think, did anyone, Deed, what does it stand for? Jitsi. All right. It is the Department of
Economic
Energy and Economic Diversification.
Thank you very much for the live stream, but especially thank you to perthvideo.com.au. If you want to check out the live stream, head to the /Morning Startup Perth URL. We've also got all the past events of Morning Startup up there as well, so if you've ever missed one, check it out. Thanks to Jürgen and the lovely folks at Perth Video. If you need live streaming, man, he's just like set up all this equipment. Like the power's not working, so I said, I've got you covered. Here's a battery, just plug into that. Awesome service.
Ammo Marketing. So like the banner says behind Scott, they're specialists in marketing startups, but they also have a really cool podcast called Weird Growth. Check it out.
Absolutely. Jack's not here today. Cool.
No Glenn.
No 30 seconds of Glenn. So they're a IT recruitment specialist. They help you get a job, or if you've got talent, they'll help you get a good gig or find the right people for your company. So thank you, Beecham Group. They've been helping us out with our meetup fees. All of these sponsors that we go through, by the way, we're not actually earning money from them. They just help us with the food and the coffee and the meetup fees and all the stuff that goes on.
Purpose Ventures. Oh, I am standing in the right place. Look at this. So Purpose Ventures is a relatively new fund to Western Australia. So check them out online if you're looking for funding.
Yes, thank you. Purpose for the coffee as well, and Everest Engineering. We do have Tom in the room. I saw him somewhere. There he is. Thank you very much, Tom. So Everest Engineering, they've got development resources. If you need to create that out, create your product, they'll also help you through that process. If you're not ready to start a product, they'll help you validate and all of those sorts of things, and they'll tell you no if you're not ready, which is fantastic. So thanks very much, Everest Engineering, for supplying the wonderful food at the back. And if you need more, go and have a chat with Tom.
Space Cube. So the venue that we're in is Space Cube. They operate a number of different co-working spaces throughout Perth. So if you're in the market for a place to start up your company or grow your company, check out Space Cubed.
Absolutely. And Startup News, make sure you subscribe. Startup WA, make sure you're a member. 100% free. You get all their emails, get invited to their events. That's our body for like lobbying to government to get all those cool programs and grants and stuff that we've got. And Plus 8, they're an awesome accelerator as well that you can join and learn to become a better entrepreneur.
Fantastic. So we've touched on a number of different incubators and programs happening in Western Australia. That is only just scratched the surface of what's available. If you scan that QR code, it's a really cool thing that's been put together by the lovely people at Mesh Points, and that will help you navigate all of the different things that are available in Western Australia for startup and scale-up people.
Yeah, there's a little co-pilot thing on the app, and you can chat with it, say I'm in one of these industries, and they'll connect you to the right accelerator or partner program. Get in touch with us, especially slack.morningstartup.com. We've got a Slack group. It's still a bit of a ghost town. We try and generate a bit of conversation in there.
There was some good... Scott got some good dad jokes in there, though.
Yes, that's right. If you want to hear some dad jokes, at least go to slack.morningstartup.com. And, oh, crap, is that URL... I was playing with the new website and that URL might be broken at the moment. But, yeah, we'll see.
True startup vibes, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Anyway, get in touch with us if you want to join the Slack group and that's not working.
And thank you for Nina for being the reason that we do have a website.
Yeah, head to
that's super cool.
morningstartup.com and see if it's working. Well, it looks like it's not working.
You can see that Morning Startup is by founders for founders, can't you?
Yeah, it's working. All right.
Oh,
cool.
look.
I had to wait for some DNS propagation.
Can we have a round of applause? That's super cool. Like, we have a website.
Yeah, it doesn't just take you to Meetup anymore.
After 12 years, are we real now that we've got a website?
Yeah. We've always had the domain, but it just redirected to Meetup, so it's great. Okay, this is coming up in 2 weeks' time.
Pitch your impact. Awesome. So I think we still have one spot available. So in a fortnight's time, we're going to be doing our standard pitch session, but with a bit of a difference. So for our pitch session in a fortnight's time, it's specifically for non-for-profits and social ventures. So if you know someone or you are a startup founder, and we've got 2 fantastic judges, we're including somebody who's flying over from Tassie to be with us, who is an absolute powerhouse in the social entrepreneurship space across Australia. So we're really lucky to have our 2 special judges with us who will be sharing their advice.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So is the format the same as our normal where you got 3 minutes, or we're going to get a bit
3
longer?
minutes.
Okay, so 3 minutes, we'll clap you out at the 3-minute mark and then give you feedback and grill you.
Love, because it won't be Dave judging.
Correct. Fantastic. And that is formalities finally out of the way.
Oh, we missed a formality.
What?
Yeah, there's a... who are new to this space and you are looking to go to the toilet. Dave, Scott is going to demonstrate his air hostess arms. If you were looking for the toilet, it is exactly where Scott is gesturing down there.
There are some stairs to get up there. If you can't handle that, let us know. We'll give you a key to get into the riff ones.
Fantastic. And the other part is if you're feeling like this is all a little bit too loud, too much for you, we've popped in a little section in the kitchen. So if you just want to chill out, we've got a new chill out zone over there as well.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, well, I think that is enough from us. We're going to hand over to the main event while you're all here. So the Founders Factory is an awesome organisation leading the way in the UK, and it's really good to have 2 representatives from this here in WA, helping startups, especially in mining tech and nature tech, green tech, find their feet, get funding, and join the whole cohort of Founders Factories folks around the world. But I'm not pitching it very well, so I'm going to let them pitch it. So we've got Tamryn Barker and Charlotta Kemp, 2 absolute powerhouses in the entrepreneurial space and startup ecosystem here in WA. So I'm going to hand over to Tamryn, I believe. Please make her very, very welcome.
Thank you very much. feel like the term powerhouse is being used a bit loosely, but we'll do our best because there's... but what is a powerhouse is Morning Startup. And before I get into this, just to say, I've got to not get emotional because when I moved back to Australia 12 years ago, this is where I found my home. Exactly in this spot here. It wasn't so much what it is now. It was a bit more Entrepreneurs Anonymous, sitting on crates and pallets and tables and things like that. So it was the very, very, very early days of Space Cubed. Upstairs is where, when it moved up into the first level, upstairs is where I got together with the Unearth team and Brodie and founded Core Innovation Hub, which is down at 191 St George's Terrace. We've got Kate here who leads for WA, which is now a network of hubs across Australia and in the Pilbara. So, that's my sort of very quick background and founder story. But yeah, very emotional and happy to be here and just to see how slick and savvy and wonderful this all is and what a beautiful community that you guys have grown and continue to support. So congratulations. It's really a privilege to be back. Very briefly, I'm just going to give an overview. My name's Tamryn Barker. I'm with Founders Factory. It's a UK-based venture fund tech accelerator, but it operates globally. We've got offices in London, Milan, Berlin, and now in Perth, Western Australia, and I'll give you some background as to why that is. But just very, very briefly, I'm going to just give you an overview of the two programs that we run here. I'm here together with my colleague Charlotta Camp, and I'm not going to go too deeply into the programs. We don't have a lot of time, but you will have what I think is much more interesting, is an opportunity to hear from two of our founders. We've got Henning and Matthew here in each of our program, Mining and Nature Tech, so you'll get to hear a little bit more about what it's like to be a part of it, and I think that should give a bit more flavour. But I'm also open to any questions at the end and happy to hear from you. The main call to action for us participating today is to say that we want to have more local founders participating in our global programs. So, please take that message. Is that all right? I'm getting a little bit louder. There we go. And here's the clicker. So I'm just going to stand here. So, just by way of background from Founders Factory, it's, like I said, it's a UK-based tech accelerator. It's about 10 years old now. We have about 400 companies in a portfolio. We fund them and support them, and we fund and support them until there's an exit, until eternity, essentially, for those. So we're still supporting founders who joined the fund 10 years ago. We've got about 60 people in our team. Charlotta and I are the two on the ground in Perth, small but mighty, but we are backed by a team around the world. And we've, as I said, invested in a portfolio of about 400 companies now. And one of the main metrics of success for Founders Factory is the follow-on funding that comes out of it. And we think that's a pretty good number. And based on that success and that metric, I think it was one of the reasons that Charlotta and I wanted to join the team when they entered the Australian market last year. We thought, okay, great, we want to make the local founders have a piece of this and be a part of this opportunity. The essential premise is that we support the world's best founders with access to the world's best companies. And these are just a couple of highlights. We're really seeking to unlock an unfair advantage for the founders and then also deliver opportunities for the partners, be they government or be they industry, corporate partners. But really unlocking that unfair advantage is the critical piece and helping to accelerate and scale through that. The programs that we're running, and I'll go into more detail on those, are running for 3 years here in Western Australia. And at the end of that time, we will have invested in 72 startups. So it's quite a large number, and it's quite a busy program. But yeah, it also means lots of opportunity, highly competitive, but a lot of opportunity. We've currently at 36 investments to date, 18 in the mining, 18 in the nature space, and we source all year round. So we're open to conversations all year round. Applications via the website are open all year round. But the programs are run in 2 tranches, twice a year, as you can see here, the first half and the second half. And we're currently in week 7 of our 3rd cohort. So we're getting to the middle point of a 3-year program, so lots of learnings and lots of iterations, and we're excited for the next 3 cohorts, or next 6 in total to come. These are the 4 pillars. There's a lot of detail in terms of the delivery of the program, but essentially these are the 4 pillars. And I haven't gone into detail on each of them because the programs have different specifications. But just at the high level, founders will receive upfront cash capital. There's a very detailed operational program of excellence, which is essentially taking a set of 33 questions that the world's top 1% of founders would be able to answer, and working backwards from there. So the program addresses all of the topics across product development, customer acquisition, talent acquisition, go-to-market, fundraising, all the critical pieces in building a startup. Is that better? Here we go. And we do this through one-to-one mentoring with the Founders Factory team, with a corporate partner, and it's weekly masterclasses, deep dive surgeries if there's a specific issue or opportunity, and just a lot of iteration. The government and industry access, the partner, I touched on that before, that's the unfair advantage of the program, and being able to give what we know is one of the most significant challenge is proximity to the customer and being able to iterate with the customer and having a really deep customer discovery, business development opportunity. And then, of course, we've got access to a global network of VCs. So I think that's something that really helps Founders Factory to stand out. Is a very, very strong network in the US and in Europe, and now in Australia as well. So we've got 2 programs. The Mining Tech Accelerator, it's a pretty simple, straightforward name, and the partner is a pretty big player in the mining space, Rio Tinto. So we have what we call it's a joint venture essentially between Founders Factory and Rio, and it's looking at the ways to help Rio mine safer, better, cleaner. They've got a very, very strong focus on reducing the impact all the way from exploration. So less you'll hear from Ekion shortly on what that could mean, but essentially a less invasive way, a smaller footprint in how you actually mine, how you actually discover new assets, all the way through along the value chain to how you close, rehabilitate, restore, and then be a good custodian in order to continue to mine in better ways. So this is a very, very serious focus. And what I think is particularly interesting is the partnership approach that Rio is taking. And I'll give a bit of a quote on that in a minute. These are the high-level themes that we source for. We source globally for this program, which means that we're taking applications and looking at decks from around the world, from, as I said, the exploration through to closure, and everything in between. The focus is strongly on deep tech. So we're looking, we sit quite adjacent to universities. Some of our founders come out of MIT, out of Berkeley, out of Cambridge, out of UWA, out of CSIRO. So we're really looking at that very, very early stage, not necessarily, still in the lab, and how we can help accelerate that into a commercial opportunity. And being able to do that with a partner like Rio, with the technical expertise they have, is a very impactful way of doing it. I wanted to put this quote in here because obviously we're partners with them, so I'm going to say good things about them. But I'm actually really seeing on the ground how a tier 1 operator, a big corporate, can actually engage with startups in a meaningful way. So I've worked with a lot of corporates. I've done sort of seen the history of how things have evolved in the ecosystem here, particularly in the mining tech space over the last 10 years. But I don't think I've seen anything quite like this level of commitment to a partnership. And it is actually more than words. And I'm very inspired to be working with the technical advisors and mentors. So each founder is actually matched with a mentor and a set of mentors in different parts of the business. So they don't just have one contact point. And that mentorship and that partnership continues post-Accelerator. The Accelerator is only 16 weeks, but the whole point of the program is to develop a post-program plan, partnership and engagement. And Rio speaks very, very strongly about this partnership. They speak about it in the first meeting, they speak about it in the second, and they continue to do so, which is we are building a partnership. We want to help you grow. We don't want to own you. We want to help you scale. We want you to service the industry, a solution for the industry. So I just want to pass that on because I think if we say acknowledge how good that is, we will hopefully see other big companies also following this direction, which is a really meaningful way of helping a company grow. This is our latest cohort. I'm not going to go into detail because of time, but we're in week 7 of this particular cohort, and I'm just afraid it's not coming up. That's all right. So there's a very strong focus on sustainability, restoration. So you'll see founders that are looking at rehabilitation robots to accelerate planting of seedlings in the Pilbara, which is just a very, very significant challenge. If you're interested in that, we've got Nathan here from Rio who's in the audience, and he knows all about it. We've got printing seeds at the cellular level, so that's one step back from planting them. We've got very strong focus on eDNA, which is being able to monitor species using in the atmosphere and detection that way. So imagine being able to have a great baseline understanding of what the biodiversity is before you mine, and being able to do that afterwards, and to follow the metrics of how an operator is looking after the environment or not. And then we've also got ones looking at exploration, so fast metals here, which is a novel processing extraction of rare earths and metals out of bauxite tailings, red mud, so out of waste. And Hades is still in stealth mode, but that's also accidental. Also accidental that their blurb has been cut off, but they're looking at extreme drilling at extreme depths. As in thousands of kilometres, yeah. If I move this up a bit. Is that better? Oh. I don't want to press escape. Now I'm going to... All right, I'll just leave that. Okay, so here we go. This is just to give you a bit of an overview of the full cohort. We've got one in the audience here, so he's going to speak shortly. All right, I need help with this because I'm scared I'm going to... Yes.
I think I'm afraid to touch.
Me too. Oh. There we go. That's it. Fine. You did it. Well done. Thank you. And then just on to our Nature Tech program. So this is in partnership with the Western Australian Government. The focus here is very much on diversification, the D and the deed, or one of the Ds in the deed, and decarbonisation, and looking at the best ways of doing that through nature-focused solutions. And it's a very broad theme, which brings lots of opportunity. It might also make it hard to understand if you fit, so please do have a conversation with us about what that could mean. But the pillar here, and you might think, oh, it's a bit unusual doing a mining program and a nature program. What we're really trying to do, especially at Founders Factory, is try and connect opportunities between industry and nature. Both should be able to exist, and both should be able to support and service each other. And I think there's a lot of solutions in the nature space that are supporting doing better things in industry. You've seen just even from the mining tech cohort that there is a definite interplay, and especially big industrial businesses through the energy transition are actually needing nature positive solutions to be able to support them, and not just offsets, actually using and driving the way they do things. So that's the rationale behind having these two programs and running them concurrently. These are the themes. So as I said, it's quite broad, but that brings a lot of opportunity, and it's really trying to leverage. This has a very strong West Australian focus. The Rio one is strongly focused in the Pilbara, but looking outwards to scaling to the mines across their product groups across the world. The Nature Tech one is particularly focused in Western Australia, and we do want to have at least 3/4 of the founders should be coming from Western Australia. So that's a very strong opportunity. And we've also got, so looking at biodiversity, wastewater management, water and oceans, food and agriculture, land and forest, and also things like engagement with Indigenous communities, heritage, and also some of the actual infrastructure around nature financing, and how you actually support, as I said, nature-based solutions into the industrial space. I put lots of logos here because the Rio logo is very big, and it's like, what do you have for the Nature Tech program? But we've got some amazing agencies who actually are prospective customers of these solutions. One of the critical challenges in the nature space is the investability, or the uncertainty around the investability of venture backing. Or backing with venture nature solutions. So we want to make sure that we're also leveraging the government engagement, the Western Australian government's sponsorship of this program, to make sure that the agencies also, they know these are the solutions that they're working on, also in their R&D teams, and these are the sorts of problems that they're facing in ensuring that Western Australia remains and continues to grow as a world-leading hub of nature and beautiful oceans, beautiful forests, and beautiful flora and fauna. So we want to make sure that we're actually leveraging the custodians of that through the agencies, and they're being very supportive and very open and giving a lot of feedback and access to expertise as well. We also do connect with industry who is relevant as well, but I did just wanted to call out the Western Australian agencies. This is our latest cohort. Please go online and have a look. They're all profiled there. We've got insect waste management, the sale of fly larvae. Doesn't sound very exciting, but it is incredibly exciting, and it's changing the way that we can manage waste be sort of in the circular economy. We've got seaweed, for Fremantle seaweed. Chris, who's growing Asparagopsis and is looking to scale that off our beautiful coast. I won't run through them all because I'm conscious of time. But we're also looking at fire prevention, and so we've got some of these founders are coming from overseas, and one of the exciting things is that they want to set up and set up operations in Western Australia. So that's another interesting call to action. I've mentioned Quenda already. That's a robotics startup that is looking at mimicking the natural movements of the little quenda, the marsupial, which it has a pattern of digging that creates natural ecosystems that create shade at a micro ecosystems that create shade, encourage little plants to grow, and it's essentially been nature's way of ensuring the viability of land. And it's just a very exciting way of using a nature-based pattern biomimicry with an autonomous robot that's solar-powered that can just do this in the Pilbara and support some of the solutions that Rio's also looking at. This is our alumni to date across, so this makes another 18 in total. And just to flag that through the programs we have a global partnership opportunity, access to customers. One of the main things that we focus on the Founders Factory side is access to customers globally and making those connections. We've got great founders, George Northcote and Henry Lane Fox. Some of you might know them from being the founders of lastminute.com back in the day. And so these people are committed to a methodology support of knowing that if you do these things, you can have a successful startup. So it's really exciting to have access to their networks as well, and the founders all do. Sorry, it's a bit... Here we go. And this is just to give a flavour that we've got a very, very strong, as I mentioned at the beginning, network of venture, of VCs, and I'm excited that be contributing to this through the local VCs that we have here in Western Australia, and they're going from strength to strength as well. And I'm particularly interested in how they support our nature-based programming and the nature-based startups that we're supporting. Because it does take really a community to make these solutions come to life. They have a different timeline of growth. So I think we've got some really great support in particular Purpose Ventures. Derek and Kylie are very supportive of the program and speaking with the founders. So here you go, you've got a QR code as well. I'm not sure if this works, so hopefully it should do. But if you want to know more about the programs, there's the blurb on the website, there's the application form on the website, but also please do reach out to us if you want to have a first conversation around opportunities. If you know somebody who's in this space or in these broad categories, please do encourage them to get in contact with us as well. Like I said, we've got a global network, global opportunity, global customer base, but we very much want to make sure that we're firing on all cylinders out of Western Australia. And that's what what Charlotta and I are here to support. Thank you. And now you get to hear from, I'm going to hand over to you for this, two of our founders and my colleague Charlotta.
Thank you. Come up. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can hear perfectly.
Perfect. Great. We're very excited to be here. And I was going to give a description of your two startups, but I think it's much better that you do it yourself. But Henning Plummer from Ekion, co-founder of Ekion, one of our mining tech alumni startups, and Matthew Dodd, founder of EcoGas, one of our nature tech alumni founders. So I'll start with you, Henning, if you can describe your startup and the technology applications of your startup in a bit, maybe in 1 minute. Here we go.
In 1 minute. Okay, so I'm Henning Plummer. I'm one of the three co-founders of Ekion. Ekion was started about 2 years ago. Before that, in my previous life, I've worked in a joint position as a research professor at University of Western Australia and at CSR. And in that work, I was mostly working on the environmental impacts of including mining. And we have had an idea a long time ago that we pursued in academia at a relatively slow pace. We had a high-impact publication, and people asked us, so what you're going to do with that idea? And we said, well, we don't know. And so we did that, brought us on the path to actually creating a startup. And so 2 years ago, we did create Ekion. And so our technology, if you know a little bit about mining, it's a very disruptive technology. So normally mining involves digging big holes and creating a lot of waste. Actually, it's mostly waste and a little bit of metals, for example, if you look for gold or for cobalt or copper. And our technology relies on a kind of a keyhole surgery approach, that we do not dig up the ore body and hundreds of meters of overburden, but we drill holes, we apply an electric current directly in the ore body, and we use that electric current to transport chemicals through the ore body that liberate the metals, and we then collect the metals at a target reservoir and bring it to the surface. That's the short version.
Hi, so my name's Matt, and I'm the founder of EcoGas. And similarly to Hemming, I also was based at UWA for the past 3 years, where I was a researcher in biogeochemistry. And so EcoGas it came about through conversations with industry. And believe it or not, there's actually a big shortage of CO2 for industry purposes. You wouldn't think that today. Everyone wants to get rid of CO2. But there is a dire need for it in things like your fizzy drinks, preserving food that's on the supermarket shelves. And so EcoGas looks to provide a renewable source of CO2. So currently, most CO2 comes from chemical plants, petrochemical plants, which is inherently non-renewable. And so EcoGas derives its CO2 from waste biomass. So we're kind of in the circular economy business. We take things like green waste from council verges or plantation residues, and we combust them and capture the CO2 through our process to generate that CO2 gas. And we're also working in the renewable energy space. So when we combust or use this biomass, we also generate a lot of renewable energy, which we can put into decarbonizing heating operations or anything that requires a lot of heat, which most industry processes do. So yeah, in a nutshell, we're a bioenergy carbon capture utilization company working in the circular economy space.
Thank you both. So Matthew, the first question goes to you. Beyond funding, what specific type of support, like access to test facilities, mentorship, is most critical for you to advance your technology?
Yeah, that's very relevant to what we're trying to do at the moment. Funding's great. With some of the funding we got from the Founders Factory, we were able to hire some engineering firms to do some of the detailed engineering that we can't do ourselves in-house. which was fantastic because we were able to basically verify our technology and the economic cost of producing the end product. And it's great to be able to sit down and be able to say, look, here's what we're going to do, and it pencils out in the end, and everyone is happy with the end product. But one of the biggest challenges for us was being able to test the technology. And so one of the pieces of tech that we're trying to test is the carbon capture from our biomass boilers. But it's very expensive if you just want to buy or build a biomass boiler to test your tech, right? So one of the challenges for us was being able to find like a site or a partner who could provide that that biomass flue gas that we can test our carbon capture technology with. And so one of the great things about WA is the robotics centre. They've got a proper name. But reached out to them, and they were happy to provide space for us to test the technology on their site. So that was really great, being able to have that test site. Otherwise, I don't know where we would have been able to do this. But also just through our networks, we were able to identify people who were able to provide us with these biomass boilers to test the kit on. So I guess, yes, very important to be able to have access to the right infrastructure, unless you've got access to millions and millions of dollars, which most startups do not. And yeah, I think that's one of the key benefits of building strong networks, which was very helpful as being part of the Founders Factory to be able to do that.
Great, thanks, Matthew. And over to you, Henning. What was the single biggest technical or business hurdle you faced when you started Ekion?
I guess for us it is to bridge the valley of death. So we have been showing that our technology works at the laboratory scale, but to actually convince miners that the technology is not just an illusion, it means we have to really show in the field that it's viable. But the valley of death for us is that the mining companies, they actually want to engage only once you have shown that it really works in the field. And academic type of funding, it ends before that. And so we were just a little bit lucky that we probably moved through that valley over the next year. And so we just got some, we could use the Rio funding now to complement some funding that we got from the Mineral Research Institute of Western Australia to set up a field trial in the goldfields. And so next year we're going to hopefully then demonstrate that our tech works. Initially we extract metals from tailings waste, which is also of big interest to actually turn waste into value, but it has for us a big advantage that it is, from an engineering point of view, much easier to demonstrate a tech in something that's quite shallow. So we only need to drill down 20 meters and not 200 or 1,000 meter. And so that is what hopefully brings us to the point where the mining industry is really thinking about that this is a real opportunity for them.
Yep. To add a bit of a global lens to this, so this question will be for both of you. What is the one thing that has worked exceptionally well for you in Western Australia? And what is the one thing that you believe needs to be improved to make WA a more competitive global hub for tech? So who wants to start?
Yeah, I guess for WA, being the small, tight-knit community it is, I've found that really helps with making the right connections a lot quicker than you would do if you were in a much larger environment. So that's a big plus point I've found. The challenges of working in WA, I guess, reflects the size of the state. So the fact that you've got 2 million people living in a huge bit of land makes getting your supply chain and getting your final product to the customer very challenging. So, for example, biomass is our input feedstock. In WA, loads of that is down in the southwest, not much around Perth. But all the CO2 users are in Perth, right? So our big challenge is logistics. If we were set up over on the East Coast, perhaps, that would be a lot easier to solve due to the distance between people and resources in our ecosphere. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess for us the biggest advantage is that there is a lot of mining in Perth. So if we fail to have success with one mining company, we just have to go next door. And there's a whole variety. We have the tier ones here, but we have also a lot of junior miners that do a little bit more cowboy-style mining and that are a little bit taking a little bit more risk than the big miners. So that's certainly a huge advantage. And we have potential applications here next door, at least only 10 hours or 20 hours drive away. The disadvantage is that mining is not necessarily known as a super innovative technology. So mining has not changed dramatically, and there's a lot of focus on incremental change. And so what we're trying to do is to be really transformative or disruptive, and that's not easy, but we're making progress. And to just put another plug for Founders Factory in here, and also for Rio, it has helped us a lot to. The program has helped us a lot to get access to people we normally didn't get access to. So when we started off, we talked to people, for example, in Rio, and they said, well, there's nothing wrong with mining, so what do you want? And through the program, we had access to high up to the innovation leaders in Rio, and we can see they have a much more long-term perspective than what we have seen before.
I guess encouraging corporations to be more innovative and work closely with startups would be an improvement. So thinking back to your time in the Accelerator, Founders Factory Accelerator program, was there an aha moment where, a moment or piece of advice you received that changed your approach to your business, or something there kind of changed your way of doing things?
Yeah, I guess so. What we had to learn along the way. So, and I'm all the three of us co-founders. We're not coming from a mining background, so we're quite naive, which has probably helped us to come up with that idea at all. That because people in mining would probably not have the kind of technical background that was needed to develop this idea. But what we had to learn is that. It's not only about the technology, but also to make that economically viable. And we were faced a lot with the problem that the miners want to have a quick return, and they want to show us that we can make profits within a very short time. And so in the Accelerator program, as I said, we had access to people who were thinking a lot more strategically. And so when we felt that pressure to say, well, we need to be economic within 2 or 3 years, then the moment when we got told, just relax. So just think about what will be the copper price in 20 years, what will be the electricity price in 20 years, how will mining change over the next 20 years? Your technology is exactly what we need to access. For example, we know that 60% of the world's copper resources that is available cannot be accessed. It's there and it's known, but for environmental reasons, for regulatory reasons, for all kinds of reasons, it's not accessible. But our technology can help to unlock value that other technologies can't. And so to have that moral support that we're on the right track, that was really crucial for us.
Yeah, for me, I think some of the sessions we had, like we had one session where we had a number of local VC companies give a presentation, and getting to hear about their strategies, their take on the market and where the market's going, I thought was very valuable to understand what they're looking for in companies they invest in. Because it saves you a lot of time talking to the wrong people. So that was a really nice learning moment. But also things like we had some masterclasses on customer acquisition, which were I'm not a salesperson, so learning about all these different tactics and strategies to get the next customer was like, oh, wow, yeah, great to know that. Yeah.
Great, thanks. And for the founders here in the audience, if anyone is thinking about applying for our programs, which we hope, do you have any advice? Like, what should they be prepared for? How can they make the most out of the experience?
I mean, generally, but everyone knows that in the room, I guess. It's a roller coaster ride, and it needs a lot of persistence, especially in the deep tech space. It's not done if you just have an idea, and it just takes a lot of talking, a lot of risk-taking, and I mean, in our case, for example, we're just lucky that none of us has a big mortgage, and we could take the risk. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't survive.
I guess be prepared to stress test your idea and your business model. We did a lot of that throughout the program, just going over different aspects, what could work, what's not going to work. But I think one of the great things about getting access to the program is the networks that the Founders Factory brings. These have just been the most valuable thing to EcoGas as a company, getting connected with all the right people, which has been a fantastic opportunity.
Great. Do we have any questions from the audience to the founders?
Who is your question?
So my question to both of you, that was firstly a beautiful presentation, and thanks for taking the time to share your experience. But my question for both of you is, given the chance to go back in time, which you can't, how do you approach things differently with the knowledge that you've acquired? Is there anything that you would do different? Is there anything that you would do new? Is there anything that you would do more of? Is there anything that you would do less of? Thank you.
I guess when we started, we got supported by a joint venture of BHP, Rio, and IGO, so three reputable mining companies, and they supplied us with a lot of samples, and we were just so happy to be funded and to start it, to investigate those samples, to look at whether our technology was amenable to essentially our technology, and we did not critically check, and we were not brave enough to say, no, actually, don't give us the biggest challenge, the most challenging samples, but give us something that helps us to get as quick as possible to our minimal viable product. And so looking back, we have probably done a lot of laboratory experiment that we should have said no to, but I mean, that we had it's easily said in hindsight, but yeah.
A lot of stuff I would have gone back and changed, but I only know that after going through it. So I guess that's part of the journey, isn't it? You learn things along the way. And things that, sometimes you just could have never known or found out because it's just your unique pathway and you learn your own things. But I guess for me, one of the most important things would be try and run things in parallel if you can. Don't have sort of one stream you're following and wait till that finishes to then think about the next steps, because it basically just spreads your bets, right? Hedges your chances. So trying to run as many things in parallel, I think, can help.
Well, that was not necessarily advice we got along the way, but we also do spread our bets for sure. That helps.
Just over here. Good presentation, thank you. As founders, do you both think about what an exit looks like? I mean, everyone talks about the doing, the here and now, the getting there. But have you thought about an exit? And if you have, what are the sort of things keeping you up at night that stand in the way of getting there? So what are the biggest hurdles you find? If you haven't thought about it, that's fine. But are you thinking about the next sort of 3 to 5 years? What does it look like, and what does it look like with you not doing this anymore?
I guess in our case, we're thinking about it, but it's a long way. So I guess we will not exit very quickly. I guess. In my case, it will be the age that will limit my involvement. But what we actually figured out as part of our journey is that to get the most value out of what we do is we have to become miners. So we have to actually not necessarily just sell our technology to others, but we have to go and buy or start our own mines. But it sounds a bit crazy if we're just three little guys to stand up in front of Rio or so and to say, okay, we're going to become miners. But eventually that would be the best way. But of course, we don't have the skills at this moment to do that. But as we grow, we have just to collaborate and with a lot of people, get a lot of talents involved in that, and then hopefully we'll be the guys who make others the Kodaks.
It's a question that has different answers depending on who you ask about exiting. Obviously, investors love to know what your exit strategy is so they can get paid. But sometimes focusing on the exit kind of distracts from where you're trying to get to. And so, other people you ask, like Accelerator, sometimes say, try not to think too much about that. But we've given it some thought, and for us, acquisition is looking like something that's favourable, given the industry that we work in is dominated by big players and not too much diversification. But the challenges to getting there for us at this stage are really trying to get those first contracts going. And then once we can start with those initial contracts, things can start to snowball a bit quicker. So it's like with most things, careers, etc., getting that first foot in the door is challenging, but then goes a long way.
This was a question more so for you, Dr. Dodd. I wanted to know what is the end product of ecogas? It's biomass and biochar, I believe.
Yeah. So the end product would be a food grade CO2, which you can use in your food and beverage products. But as a side of that, we produce things, byproducts like biochar, which is valuable on two fronts. It's a great thing to apply in agriculture, also carbon removal certificates you can get from biochar, and renewable heat. So we're looking to find offtake partners for that heat for things like drying, calcining, or pretty much you can do so much things with heat. So renewable heat is just a fantastic, and it's a really easy way to decarbonize industry emissions. Often it can be cheaper than using natural gas, and you decarbonize, so it's like a 2-for-1 win. So that's what we're about.
And are you guys using forest product waste? Are you using trees, offcuts, things like that?
Yeah, so our first sort of priority is green waste. So the councils around Perth produce loads of green waste, and that's a really great sustainable feedstock for our process. But also the Forestry Products Commission, one of their biggest challenges, believe it or not, is they don't have people to take the waste, sort of branches, trees, twigs, etc., when they're trying to thin the forests for ecological purposes like fire prevention or forestry management. So we're hoping to help them by off-taking that waste so they can go about their ecological restoration programs.
I think we have time for one more question. That's it.
Thanks. Hey, that was really interesting. Thank you very much. Probably a question for you, Henning, is you mentioned that you had naivety as you weren't a miner. Could you maybe speak to the value of being naive and not falling into a traditional way of thinking? So I imagine that there would be a lot of value there, having a fresher approach. And what challenges do you have from industry in regards to that?
Yeah, I guess if we had known how traditional the mining industry is, we would probably not have tried to go down that pathway. When I say naive, I meant also that in a technical sense, we had skill sets that were not compatible with mining. I guess, yeah, to think that we can change mining in a big way is something that, yeah, if you're just part of a mining company, you probably don't attempt that. And I guess we're living a dream, and to make that real is, of course, a big challenge. But that's probably how a lot of companies emerge and are growing, that you have a crazy idea and then you don't know how long the challenge is or how big the challenge is to make it work.
Thank you so much. I think we're running out of time, but please help me thanking Henning and Matthew. Great. And thanks from me and Tamryn. I will stick around here, and Tamryn as well. So any questions, feel free to shut us up. Great. Thanks, Scott.
There we go. Thank you so much, Charlotta and Hemming and Matthew and Tamryn. Please get to know each other, grab some food, come and say hello, and apply to Founders Factory. Is that the CTA here? Go and check it out. Awesome. Don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, we've got the pitch for purpose. So if you're in that space and want to apply, just contact at morningstartup.com. Let us know. Anything else? Louisa down the side here. Let us know. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.